all you need is a grease gun. And you take off that hub right there and you get to the zerk fitting it and you pump grease in until it comes out the backside. But one of the employees that's been there the longest, he did the tour for us that day, and he said, do not pump grease into these barrens. I said, hey, Bowser, I yelled out, and he heard me and he perked right up. I resurrected a dead dog. Okay. Brody, you stop licking my face, man. I'm trying to get some work done. You gotta back off, Boogaloo. Ow. Oh, what an idiot. And I bet you saw this. I didn't put the caliper on. Oops. Are you all right? There, you're breathing again. Okay, sorry about that. That's on me.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we can throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from out. Nothing to lose. I feel it in my soul. So let's let the good times roll.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to FergTV. I got a short little video for you today. We're going to pack the barrens to get ready to go out on season number 3, back out on the road. And it's very simple to do. All you need is a grease gun. And you take off that hub right there and you get to the zerk fitting it and you pump grease in until it comes out the backside. I saw that look on your face. Some of you said, that doesn't sound right. Some of you said, okay, I'm going to do that. I've seen people on the internet here, or YouTube, that are telling you all you have to do is pump grease into this thing. That is not your yearly maintenance. As a matter of fact, they don't even make them with zerks anymore. When we get this apart, I can almost guarantee that there's not a zerk fitting in this. The proper way to do it is we're going to take the wheels off, well, one at a time, and we're going to take off the caliper, which will get us to the rotor, which we can take that off once we take off the nut and cotter pin, lock plate. And that'll get us into the barrens, and then I'll show you what we're going to do from there. But we're going to wash and repack them. And the reason that you need to wash them is you need to inspect them. You need to see if there's any... Hey, bud. Is Brody. Brody is our grandson, I guess you'd say. He's our kid's dog. So he likes to hang around with me while I'm doing projects, as long as he doesn't get greasy. So looking at Brody reminds me of a story. We had a dog. It was a German Shepherd. We named him, well, actually I named him Bowser. Now, some of you might know the name Bowser. It was one of the singers on Sha Na Na. So I named him after Bowser the singer. And so one day, we're in a small town here, Pasco. It's in the town of Burrowville. It's a little city. And I don't know, it was like 10 o'clock at night or something. We were still up summer night. And somebody knocked at the door. I opened it up. It was a cop, which I knew the cops anyway. My uncle was deputy chief at that time. And they said, hey, Ray, you got a dog? And I said, yeah, why? He said, I think he's dead. I said, what makes you say that? He said, he's come over here. He's laying out in the road over here. So I went out with them, and sure enough, across the driveway, across the road by my mailbox, there's that. You like this story, Brody? There's my dog laying down. And I said, he's not dead. And they said, I think he is. We've been calling him, and he won't look at us or anything. He doesn't move. I said, hey, Bowser, I yelled out, and he heard me and he perked right up. I resurrected a dead dog. They thought that was pretty cool. They had a good laugh, and on the way they went, he would just lay on the side of the road. He was a good dog. Back to our regularly scheduled program here, repacking barons. You need to jack this up, and there's two places that you can jack up. If you're using a bottle jack, you go right here. If you can see where I'm located. Maybe I can move this inside where you can get a better look. I hope you can see that. If you're using a floor jack, you're gonna go under here. Not here, of course. Hey, stop licking my face, man. All right, I'm not playing right now, bud. And you're gonna go right under here. Okay. Brody, you stop licking my face, man. I'm trying to get some work done. You gotta back off, Boogaloo. Ow. Come on. You gotta back off, bud. I got some work to do here. So the other thing is, I forgot to mention, you should have a set of wheel seals with you. It's not a bad idea to have an extra one in case you damage one putting it in. And I keep a set of barons with me too, an inner, outer baron and race set. Just in case something happens on the road, you never know where it's going to happen and how accessible pots are. The only other thing you got to do to this is we're going to clean the old grease off of that, and we're going to grease this, and I'll show you how to do that. But that's the only place you're going to use a grease gun. It's right there. It doesn't have to be a power gun. You can pump it in by hand. There's no problem with that. Okay, let's get going with this little project. It is getting hot. One thing I forgot to mention, you should probably go back and look at my older video, and I'll try to link it up right here up in the corner or something. And that video actually has video from when we took the tour over at Moride when they replaced our suspension with the independent suspension. And Gary, who's one of the, I don't want to say older, but he probably is older, but one of the employees that's been there the longest, he did the tour for us that day, and he said, do not pump grease into these barons. And I'm not going to go any deeper into it. You should take a look at it. And he tells you why, which you probably already know why. So we'll retorque these after. These torque down to 140. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to jack this up so that the tire is off the ground. And all I need to do is just get the weight of that tire up off the ground. And we're going to do them one at a time. I'm not putting a stand under it because it'd be kind of hard to get a stand under it. And there's no place to go and do that. And for what I'm doing, we're doing it one at a time. It's really not going to go anyplace. So let's take off the other 3 lugs out of the way. As with any disc brakes, if you've been sitting around a while, they will get rusty. You can see that rotor has got rust on it. It's just surface rust. Once this comes off, and then you can get this off once we take these out. Okay, it'll be these 2 guys right here, top and bottom. Okay, get a wrench to fit that. Turns out it's a 1/2 inch. So we got a socket and a breaker bar. I already broke it loose. So maybe we get a ratchet on it. Good. You know, and the other thing is doing this once a year, the chances of them getting frozen are less likely. Now you got to be careful when you take any brake rotor off, because you don't want that hose to get broken, cut. Bottom one spun right out. This one's still got a little stick-to-itiveness to it. Like you, if you make it to the end of any of these videos, maybe it's a good time for you to go give it ye ol' up yours. I sure would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, what the heck are you waiting for? I try to bring different content. I know that's upsetting to some because they want to see the same old stuff all the time. But then there's some folks that kind of like to learn something new, and let's get a ratchet on there and see something different. That's probably why we don't turn really big numbers. I try not to exaggerate things, and it seems like if you don't put a a drum or thumbnail up, you know, get people to click on. The only thing you can hope is that if they've clicked on once, maybe they enjoyed the content, maybe they learned something, and maybe they'll come back. Yeah, you can let me know if you're enjoying the different things that we're doing. And unfortunately, boy, that thing doesn't want to turn. It's not frozen, it's just tight. I have to do this stuff to get back out on the road, so there's not much I can do about it. If I'm still going to put out content, I have to put out some of the repairs that we're doing. And I guess if you're in the RV life, then you know about this stuff. It's just things you have to do to maintain, and it's life. Now, I can't say that I do all my maintenance. We just had a problem with Rhodey, our truck. Here we go. And, oh my gosh, that thing's going to fight me all the way to the end. We took it to Ballard Truck Center over here in Johnston, Rhode Island. And I have nothing but good things to say about them. I called on a Friday afternoon, and Jessica, one of the service writers, said, I explained what I had, and she said, yeah, if you can have it here on Monday morning at 7, which they're about, 35, 40 minutes from us with traffic and everything. I said, yeah. We were there before she got in, and they took it right in. Before noontime, they called me up. They said, you can come and get your truck. They had given me an estimate, and the estimate was $2,001. We had a, there we go. We had a NOx sensor that was an issue, but they had to determine what it was. So, of course, there's a diagnostic fee, and it's just the way it is. But I look at a $2,000 bill as you go in with your pickup truck and get a $2,000 bill. It doesn't take long. All right, let me get these bolts out because they're taking a little long, and I don't want you to get bored. You'll end up with a nosebleed, and we'll come right back. Let me share what I found. I ended up, they weren't stuck or anything. You couldn't turn them, so I ended up getting a pair of pliers and backed them off real easy, and they don't have to come out. And whoop, there you are. So now you can take a good look at your pads. They look like they're wearing good. And let's find a place to set this, which let's set here. Yep. Okay, so I set it right there, and you can see there's no tension on the line there. So the next thing to do, Brody, you got to give me a little room here today. I know you want to hang around, but we're not playing. Brody, you're the star of the show. Back up, Boogaloo. Hey, come on, man. I can't play right now. Back up. Come on, don't eat the GoPro. Sheesh. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this cap. I almost need the next size pliers up, which I think we're going to go get another pair, bigger pair. Be right back. Beautiful thing about working back here is if I don't have the tool, my son, Brody, my own little earthquake, if I don't have the tool, probably my son-in-law Dennis does. So what we don't want to do is crack this cap. So what I might want to do is I'll put one lug back on, and we'll get a pry bar, and we can hold this thing with a little bit of leverage. We'll hold it back. I don't think I have, oh, you know what? I might have a wrench to open up and put on there. Let's go that route. Plan A was I was hoping that I had a wrench would open up big enough. It's not even close. The thing that I worry about with using things like this monkey wrench or pipe wrench, is the teeth. And this is plastic. And if I crack it, I'm in trouble. but I don't have a socket big enough. That would be the best way to go. Well, let's give it a try. I did get a pry bar here, and we'll see what we can do. So we're protecting the threads right there. And bring this guy up. Probably not the best weapon of choice here, but let's see what we can do here without cracking it. I hope it's a lefty loosey. Yeah, okay. Not so bad. And just a couple of little marks in it, but she let go rather easily. It almost looks like with these hubs, you could turn this into an oil bath situation. Okay, I got a box for our pots. We're going to take and clean all of that stuff up. This is what I want to show you. On the old style spindles, they did have a Zerk fitting. They absolutely did. But you weren't supposed to use them. I guess it was for an emergency situation out on the road. If the Baron was making a little bit of noise or something and you wanted to just pump a little grease in to get yourself to the next exit or whatever, you're not supposed to do it, because you're just going to put dirty grease, pack it in even more so, and you're going to fill. You could push out on the backside of the seal and ruin that. So, and then if you get grease that goes into the to the disc brakes, you're in trouble. Now, you say, well, I would look at it. I wouldn't do that. But you could put enough pressure on it that it doesn't ooze out the backside until you're going down the road and it warms up a little bit, and then it comes out, and then it's on your rotor. Anyway, they don't allow you to do it now, and you're not supposed to. So don't do it on your old ones either. The big thing is you want to inspect your Barons, you know? And you can't do that just pumping grease into it. You're going to get in trouble down the road. So we have a lock here that we need to get off, simply to keep that nut from backing off. And I'll show you the way that it works here. See, there's a little D on it right there. That goes on to the flat side of the spindle, and that keeps that from backing off. That nut might only be hand tight, because what you're going to do when you put this back together, you're going to bring that nut up to 5 foot-pounds and then back it off and then hand tighten it. So we never did it by torque when I was younger. I'm not a mechanic. I never was a mechanic, but I did a lot of mechanical things, and I always tried to do it the correct way. And I was taught by mechanics. You would take and tighten that up and get nothing for play, right? Tighten it up. Still turns, but tighten it up. And then you would back it off just a little bit, so you had zero clearance where it would not. You don't want any movement, but you want it to spin freely. By putting pressure on it, or the 5 pounds of torque, it's going to take everything out of it. It's going to seat everything properly, and then you're going to back it off. If you left it in there, it might burn a Baron out. It'd be too tight. Let's see how tight this is. See that? So that just proves my point. Now, don't go by what I'm telling you. I'm reading this in my Moride manual. The 5 foot-pounds, I wouldn't know that. Like most people, you don't know things until you look into it. And sometimes you can watch people on YouTube, and you can tell if the people that seem like they know what they're talking about or not. I am not telling you I'm a mechanic. I am not telling you this is the way to do it. I'm telling you this is the way I'm doing it, and I'm going according to Moride. So I can't be any more transparent. We're only going to do one together. I just want you to see how to do it in case you don't know how to do it. And then you just rinse and repeat. It's not cross-threaded. It's not stuck. It's just, you know, there's little burrs here and there. Okay, there's our nut. There's our lock. All right, the way we're getting this off is we're just going to move it a little bit. You see the Baron kick out? And we're going to catch that Baron. Take note of what you have here and how they go back in. So we have another washer, and there should be a D on it. See, everything locks. Everything goes on that cut, or I call it a D. This is your outer bearing. Okay, we're going to take and we're going to wash and check everything. Make sure nothing's scoring. I would hope not. There's only about 10,000 miles on here. And now the back bearing's going to stay on the rotor because the seal is holding it in. So that's what you got right there. And we're going to knock that out, and then the bearing will be out. We're going to put a new seal in. That's the correct way to do this. We're also going to clean this all up. When we go back together, everything is going to be clean. Okay, let me start doing that, and I'm going to show you exactly how to go through one of these. Rotor out of the way. Just going to start cleaning this up. I'm using a paper towel because I don't want to get my rags all to the point where you got to throw it away. I'll just come in with a rag after and just fully clean everything, but I get the bulk of the grease off with the paper towel and then just chuck it. So you're inspecting the spindle also, okay? And make sure that nothing happened here. It's not blue. There's no score marks. You want to see where the seal rides, make sure that's good. You want to make sure that you use a good grease that they recommend for like wheel bearings and heavy duty applications. I'm using a Tom lube. It's a red lithium. So we're going to put that in here and go forward. Not the right tool, but this might do it, where we can get a little leverage here and get that seal coming out. There she goes. Boom. That's all we needed, is to get in there and do it. Now the bearing is ready to come out. So we got a gallon of Potts washer, and we're going to take and put our bearing in there, a rear bearing. I think before we go in, I'm going to wipe the bulk of this grease off. Take that basket. Now, see, I just wanted to wipe the bulk of it off. It's less you have to get rid of over here. We're just going to put all of our pieces and wipe them off as they go in. And one thing I didn't mention, you didn't see, but off camera, I was being very careful where I was walking with that bearing and how I was holding it, because it's all concrete up here. And if I drop the bearing, it could do damage to it. We're going to let those bearings soak a little bit, and in the meantime, while we're waiting, we're going to clean this up. So we want all of this old grease gone. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed with what I see. It's still in good shape, which means the bearings are probably in good shape, and I think more than likely they are. I'm going to take our Potts cleaner brush, get right in here, and work it around a little bit. Then we'll pick up each piece and do it individually. Spin it. And you just got to do everything that you can to break down that grease and get it out of there. And then you want to look down inside and take and inspect the race on this. Not only the race that's in the wheel, which is easy, or the hub, which is easier to see, but you want to make sure it's not breaking up inside of here also. Bearings are all washed up and cleaned. After I cleaned them with the solvent, I then went down and I hosed everything off to get that solvent out of there. You don't want to leave any solvent in here. It's going to break your grease down. But as you can see, there's water beads now, and you don't want to leave any of that. So I'm going to blow it all off with compressed air. Everything will be dry, and we'll go to greasing them. Oh, what I wanted to show you was, and I don't know that we can do this here, not a lot of light, but you're going to want to look down inside of here and make sure that that race, the inner race for the bearing, is not breaking up. And again, you want to inspect the bearing. So you want to turn it all around and look at everything, which I haven't done yet. I'm going to blow it all off and clean it, then I'm going to look at it. But inspection is important here. I've blown everything off with compressed air, got all the water out of there. We don't want any moisture left in here. It could rust. It can also break down the grease. Here's a point that if you haven't already ordered up a set of Barons and you'd like to get a set of Barons to have on hand with you in case something happens, your numbers are right around the outside there. I don't know if you can see them. You'll have to look at yours. And my Timken number's right on there. I'm not concerned with it because I've already bought a set when I was over at Moride. So I've already got one extra set. And that's all I wanted. I didn't want a full set, just one in case I have one Baron failure. The other thing that I didn't mention is I only wiped this out and cleaned it good with no solvent. Just wiped it out good. I don't want to use any solvent in there. That grease was still good in there. I just want to get rid of it. We're going to put new grease in, and I don't want any solvent in there because I didn't want to have to go and rinse it out. We're ready to use this little tool that my son-in-law Dennis picked up to do this. So we need to pump grease into this. That's the first step. And it's a spring-loaded situation, so the grease is going to be down the bottom. This was down in here when we first started, and it pushed it up here. So the thing that we're going to do now is put the Baron in, and they want the cone side down like that, and then use this thing just to align it. They said you don't even have to screw it up or screw it down. So now we're going to push and get grease to go through that Baron. So you can see the grease is going through the center of it, right? Okay. Now we'll take that out and we'll work that grease all around it. Get a good amount on there. I think we're in good shape because that pushed all through there. It's either that or just use your hands to pack it, which is not a problem. That's the way I always did it before. But that seemed to work good. It pushed the grease right up through. We're going to shoot a little new grease around in here. I'll put a little around there and we'll stick the Baron in, then we're going to put the new seal in. Alright. You will get dirty on this ride. Okay, so we're going to put our inner Baron in. They do make a tool to do this. But, so, this is the right way and the wrong way to go in. You're going in this way. You want the flush side to the outside. So we can tap it a little bit to get it started. The key to this is to go in even. She started pretty good all the way around. Now, what I'm going to do is take this brass pin. I've owned this for probably 30 years. We're going to go around, set this in. Okay, what we want is this to be flush all the way around. This is high right here. Good. And it feels good. So, you know, inspecting something, looking at it, if it looks good, it probably is good. So we're going to go down in the back now, take all of our pieces, we'll put our rotor on. I'm just going to put a little coating of grease around. We're talking a very small amount. You don't want that running dry on there. Good. All right. Meet you down in the back. All the pieces to the puzzle are down the back. Take care for our seal there. Boom. And now we want to get our Baron in here. Okay. There is no special way to put the Baron in. Now the pieces that do require, what did I do with them? Oops. Are you all right? There, you're breathing again. Okay, sorry about that. That's on me. Oh my God. Let's try that again, huh? Oh, jeez. You're still a little loose. You'll be all right in a minute. So we have our D washer that can only go on the spindle one way. The next thing to do is to put the nut on, and we would bring this to 5 foot-pounds, which that doesn't go on the 5 foot-pounds. So we're going to bring this down to 5 foot-pounds. Boy, I wish I had a socket. I should go and look. So you see it's like 0 clearance, and it still turns, right? And now they want you to back it off. Back it off and then bring it finger tight. Now you remember when we took this apart, it was finger tight. So I think we're pretty good here. Gonna put our lock on, which it's a D lock. It can only go one way. So the next thing you have to do is line things up. Boom. Beautiful. So that's all snapped on. Yeah, it's pushed down all the way around. Excellent. We'll put our cap on. I cleaned the cap while we were up in the shop. I just didn't show it to you. I only wiped it out. It's still got a little bit of blue grease in there, but who cares? All right, we're going to tighten this thing up. Oh, man, all the tools are hot. They're out there in the sun. Okay, that's good and snug. And now we're going to pump some grease over here before I forget. So this is the only grease fit right here in that journal area. I forgot exactly what they call it. Journal and spindle. We need to wipe this thing, get the old grease off. And in with the new. It is easier without the tire on, because I'm right there. All right. So they said to pump it till you see grease come out one end or the other. I would think I would see some grease come out. That's a pretty good amount. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this tire back on. And I'll release you. We will be done. I gotta look at this tire though. These are all gonna be hotter than heck. I started off, I was in the shade. Not in the shade anymore. I'm in direct sunlight on my back. And we're gonna talk them down to 140. Oh, what an idiot. And I bet you saw this. I didn't put the caliper on. Oh boy. I think this might be the last one for today, and I'll start first thing in the morning. It's just too blooming hot. I could hear you yelling. I just couldn't understand what you were saying. All right, sir. I think we should put the caliper back on. I think we're all in agreement there. So, right back to where we were a minute ago. Could have been worse. I could have got this on and torqued it down. Then I really would have felt like an idiot. Oh man, it is terrible. I'm going to take a break after this. Whether I finish do the other one today or not, we'll see. If I start it, I don't want to not finish it, so I got to see what I got left in the tank. Whew. It's going on like 2 o'clock and the sun is just over here. You know, the sun is not on the other side, but I thought I would get this one done this morning before the sun came around. And it just takes so long with doing video. And the first one is the worst one, right? I had to figure everything out. But you don't need to see me talk it down. I'm going to talk them down to 140 once I let it down on the ground. They're tight enough that I can put it down and then talk it. So I hope you picked up a little tidbit here. I certainly appreciate you stopping by. Maybe you can give it ye ol' up yours, and you've got stick-to-itiveness if you're still here at the end. Not many people make it here. It's uncharted waters. And maybe you'll subscribe if you're getting anything out of this. I sure would appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.